everyone, my name is Emily and today I wanted to go over my different essentials for filming and content creation, especially as an artist and someone who likes to film art processes. So I'm going to go over things all the way from my equipment to the software I use, as well as give just a few bonus tips. So let's jump into it. So first, let me go over the filming equipment I use, and I'm gonna start off with my camera. So I'm gonna have to show a picture here, or show some B-roll, because I'm using it to film currently, but I use a good old Canon EOS M50. Mine is probably about 5 years old. I got it when I graduated college. Let's see, back in late 2018, 2019. So I've had it for quite a bit and it still works really well. I did have quite a few problems with it at first, mostly that there was a lot of static in the footage and it didn't do well in low light. But recently I figured out that it was really the lens that was the problem. So I got two different lenses and this completely changed the game for me. I got an EF-M 22mm lens, which is the one I'm using right now. And I also got a 50mm lens as well as an adapter in order to use it with my camera. And both of these have absolutely changed the game for me. Next, I want to talk about the microphones that I use. So when it comes to vlogging and recording audio off my camera, I use an auxiliary microphone by Deity. It was about $40 to $50 when I got it, and it's really comparable to a lot of the other name brand options. And I feel like it really changed my audio game. It's a pretty great starter microphone, and I definitely recommend it. Now, as for voiceovers, I actually have a different microphone by Samson. I believe it is called the Samson Meteor mic. I got this instead of one of the Yeti microphones because, again, it was probably $40 to $50 and a lot more affordable at the time that I bought it. I didn't want to sink too much money in buying professional gear, so I believe that this is also a pretty good starter microphone when it comes to things like voiceovers. So one thing that gave me a lot of trouble in the beginning was trying to figure out what type of tripod to use. I knew I wanted to film overhead, so that really limited my options, but I'm going to share the ones I found and the one that I'm currently using and have found to be the most helpful. So let's start off with a classic standing tripod. I have one by Zome, and the reason that I chose it is actually because there's a top part that can bend, and so see, I can show it right here like this. And so you're able to set it over a table and film overhead. Now, the problem with this on its own is that the tripod doesn't go far enough over the table. So you don't really have that much room to work with when you're filming overhead. So I got an extra little contraption to make it a little easier, and unfortunately this was probably more expensive than it needed to be. So this here I think could be considered a type of boom arm, but it's nice because this part here screws into basically any tripod, and when you turn this you can actually slide it. In fact, this will work on any normal standing tripod, so you don't need to get the fancy kind where it bends. In fact, it'll save you a lot of money because you can just buy a simple basic tripod anywhere. But this really changed the game for me because I could control how far the arm went over my desk. Now, the problem that I still had was that setting up the tripod, it took a lot of space, and because my work and filming space is very integrated into my living space, it would take a while to set up and honestly kind of got in the way and was really tedious. So I decided to find a better option. So this isn't your average desk tripod. It actually clamps to the desk and doesn't have feet. That way I can just leave it on my desk and I don't have to set it up and tear it down every time I want to film. And the one I have actually has two joints. So you can actually have it up and straight, or you can have it bend, and you can honestly do quite a few different angles with it, and it's really versatile. In fact, I highly recommend getting something like this. I'll link the brand that I got down in the description, but I think you could find something similar and maybe even less expensive. But I highly recommend it. In fact, it works really great. However, sometimes I still want further length when it comes to filming art processes. This screws right in. So those three together, my standing tripod, my desk tripod, and this really help me out. And then I have just like a mini tripod that you can get anywhere for vlogging, and it's what I'm using right now, just to easy way to get headshots and such. Let's talk about lighting now. So the light that I use actually clamps to the desk, just like the tripod. So again, easy setup, easy teardown. And I use it all the time, not just for filming, but also for when I'm drawing at night or doing something at my desk and it's dark out. But it's really nice because not only can you control the brightness, you can also change how warm or cool the colors are with this remote. Now, the key to finding this kind of light is to search key light when you're looking for technology. So key lights are often what streamers use to light up their face while they're streaming online, but I found that they're super great for art. So mine is from Newer, which is a little bit more of a budget brand, but there's really similar ones on Amazon and other websites like that that might be a little cheaper, but this one gets really bright and it does the job. In fact, I actually got a second one. This one is much smaller, but it can again connect to a tripod and is nice for when I need a little bit extra light or if I want light coming from a different direction. So I use two different kinds of software for video editing, or at least two different programs. The first one I use is Final Cut Pro because I have a Mac and it seems to work the best, and honestly, I didn't want a monthly subscription, so I avoided any Adobe product. But the other option that I use is called LumaFusion. It's an app that you can get both for the iPad, iPhone, and you can actually use it on Mac computers as well. I'm not sure if they have an Android version, but it was super helpful for me before I had a laptop that could handle video editing because it had all of the necessities. I could color grade, cut videos together, use different video layers, add transitions, do masking. It really did all of the things I needed it to do without having anything too complicated to learn. So if you're a beginner and are on a bit of a budget, I'd highly recommend LumaFusion, especially since it's only $30 and comparable programs are often $100 or more. So I think it's a great option. So that wraps up all of the things that I use for filming and editing. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer. I'm also going to leave links to all of the things that I showed throughout this video. And with that, I will see you all next time. Bye!